A doctor is a mega fan of an idol, so much so that his favourite thing to do is bunk off work and watch her videos. Now, this would be fine if he was, say, an accountant or a philosopher or something, but he's not. He's the only doctor in the region, so him bunking off has probably killed more than a few people. Anyhow, he's devastated when he finds out that Ai is taking a break from being an idol. He can't figure out why she's doing it, and then guess who walks in? A very pregnant Ai. Her agent is terrified, but she seems pretty okay with the whole thing. The doctor then agrees to get her through her pregnancy and deliver the baby, which he sees as like a heroic thing to do, but I'm pretty sure delivering the baby is just his job. Like, he's a doctor, isn't that what they do? I could be wrong, but I won't Google it because I'm pretty sure I'm right. And you know I'm right because you also won't Google this. But if you do Google it, comment down below and let me know if I'm right. And while you're down there, you might as well subscribe. Anyway, the time comes to deliver the baby and the doctor just decides to go home. Well, it wasn't the time to deliver the baby, but it was close. And they always know when it's close, but regardless, he went home. Well, he almost went home. He started to leave to go home and then he got murdered by someone. Immediately after dying, he's reborn in a new body. Ai's baby's body. And clearly she lost a bet because she named him Aquamarine and gave his twin sister a normal name. The two of them were both reborn and both remember their past lives. And ironically enough, the two of them met each other in their old lives. The doctor was a doctor and Ruby was one of his neglected patients. But neither one of them knows this. Ruby gets to the age where she's able to leave Twitter hate, and that's when the two of them figure out neither one of them is a normal baby. Ai continues to work and leaves the babies at home to be looked after by a woman who really doesn't want to do it. She married the head of Ai's agency because she thought she'd be spending all of her time with A-list celebrities, but now she's changing nappies. So she thinks to herself, I could link the fact that Ai has kids to the media and make a ton of money, which is a horrible thing to do, just ruin a 16-year-old girl's ability to feed her 2 children. And later on in the anime, we're just supposed to get this horrible thought. And she's tried to make it more than just a thought, but the only reason she didn't link the news to the media was because the babies with their ability to speak tricked her into thinking they're God. Having seen the power of God, she takes the 2 babies to a small show Ai's putting on, and they steal the show. Then we get a 1-year time skip, and now the toddlers are back on set. Aqua freaks the director of this TV show out so much because he can talk like a normal person. The director explains to the boy how the TV world works and gives him his card because he thinks this precocious baby could be a very good actor. At home, the 3 of them watch the show and Ai had her role cut to a single frame. So Aqua calls the director and the director tells him why it happened. And if Aqua really wants, he can give Ai a role in the new movie. And Aqua is like, of course I want! And the director's like, hold up, there is a catch. You also have to be in the film. And Aqua's like, what role will I be playing? The director's like, the role you were born to play. A creepy toddler. On set, Ruby and Aqua are just left in a room alone, which is the last place 1, let alone 2 toddlers should be. And then there's another toddler in there, so now there's 3 unattended toddlers on a film set where Hollywood actors and directors would be. I can't think of a worse place for a toddler to be. Anyway, the toddlers don't like each other. Aqua doesn't like the girl because she insulted Ai, and Ruby doesn't like her because she's another girl. During filming, Aqua makes her cry because she could never hope to be as creepy as him. Then we get a 2-year time skip. After a role in the film, Ai's life gets much better. She appears on the radio, she's a model, she has a few roles on TV, movies, along with becoming a media personality. Then she makes the worst decision she ever could. After she's achieved fame, middling fortune, she decides to go back to her ex. Now people, once they become your ex, never talk to them again. Block them forever. You two broke up for a reason. I don't care how good the memories are, you're done with them. And if they're not done with you, they're just using you. Anyway, I didn't listen to my advice, and she told her ex-boyfriend her new address. And he sent a crazy fan there who murdered her in front of her own children. Their babysitter, who, let's not forget, was willing to ruin their lives 3 years ago, wants to adopt them. Telling them she'll never replace Ai as a mother, but she views them as their own children. Who, let me say again, 3 years ago, this woman would have happily seen the 2 of them cast out onto the street just so she wouldn't have to change their nappies. Then we get a much bigger time skip, and the 2 of them are in middle school. The director who cast Aqua earlier is mentoring him now, and Ruby wants to become an idol just like her mum, even after what happened. But Aqua hates this idea because of what happened, so he goes out of his way to make sure she never becomes one. What happened was she auditioned to be an idol, and when she wasn't looking, he took her phone, sent a text to the idol audition people withdrawing, then called her on the director's phone, pretending to be the audition company, telling her that she lost. But even this didn't stop her, since she got approached on the street and scouted to become an idol for an underground group. So Aqua does the natural thing. He pretends to be an idol scout, finds a girl in the group Ruby was scouted for, pretends to scout her for a new group, so he brings her back to the office and he's like, we want to cut you a better deal, but to do that, we need to know what's going on with your current deal. And she just reveals everything. And it was an okay deal, and then we never see her again. Then he and his adoptive mother realize they'll never stop Ruby. So with the talent agency she runs, she starts up a new idol group. Oh yeah, she now runs it because her husband just, after Ai's death, just disappeared. He's just missing. So Ruby is now an idol with her own group, because consisting of just her. The two of them then get into the school for the performing arts, and this is where they see Red again, and she's so happy to see Aqua and Ruby. Ruby ain't so happy to see her though, since she remembers not liking her the last time they met. Red don't care though. She follows Aqua home until he invites her over to the director's house, who also remembers her. He reveals to her that he has videos of Aqua acting, and Red's like, let me see them. And he's like, only if Aqua says it's okay. And he's like, I'm never gonna say it's okay. So to see his acting, she invites him onto a TV show that she's been cast on. At first, Aqua's not interested. She mentions who the director is, and we get a huge flashback from Aqua because of the name. He thinks that it might be his biological father, so he agrees to join. But in the real world, Red was talking about the other cast members and said that the male lead is hot. And only then did Aqua say yes, after he had his flashback, so now she thinks he's gay. On the set, everyone is rude, and Red is the only one who knows how to act, and she sucks at it, making it super easy for Aqua to steal the show. After his episode is released, it's the only episode that's liked by what's left of the audience. Because of his success in the show, the director tells him that he'll give him information about I if he joins his new dating show. After Aqua gets the DNA results back from a cigarette he stole from the director, he agrees, because the director isn't his dad. Back at home, Ruby wants an entire idol group, because she's worried that people at school will make fun of her for being a lone idol and not having a group. Aqua convinces them to sign Red, because she's semi-popular and cheap. They agree this is a brilliant idea, and Ruby and Aqua go to meet her and convince her to join. But Red wants nothing to do with it, mostly because Ruby doesn't directly ask her, because Ruby thinks that if she directly asks Red, then it would be admitting that she has talent, which for some reason Ruby just can't do. Even though talent is exactly what Red has and would benefit both of them. But no, being nice to another girl is just beyond what Ruby is capable of. But then after a little while, she musters up the courage and asks her to join, only for Red to reject it. So Aqua asks her to join, and she rejects it. So Aqua asks her again. And she rejects this too, so he keeps asking until she says yes. And then while signing the paperwork, she's kicking herself over how much of a pushover she is. Then Ruby and Red watch Aqua's dating show, and Ruby hates it because Aqua looks happy, and this guy's never happy. And Red hates it because he's talking to other girls, even though up until now she thought he was gay. Then they have the displeasure of watching him flirt with a girl who they both think is basic. Remember this face because it will come up later. Later it's just Red and Ruby in the office with nothing to do, and Ruby asks Red, you never have any work, how do you pass the time? And Red doesn't respond well to this. And then in her own words, a pervert walks in. Turns out this guy's a fitness influencer managed by the same agency these two are, and he's gonna give them a shout out, but only if they can keep up with his workout for 1 hour. They nearly died, but they managed to do it. Later that night, a cast member on the dating show was going through the worst time of her life. She was getting so much hate online and in real life, so much so that Aqua had to save her life. Then to try and make things better for her, she asks Aqua who his dream girl is. Aqua tells her it's I, and then Akana spends what could have been a night or a few weeks, the show doesn't really make it very clear, studying I. And the next time the two of them meet, I can only assume Aqua has the worst PTSD of anyone ever, because this girl looks like I, talks like I, and acts like I. Aqua handled this situation better than I would, nearly crying before leaving the room. In the next episode of the show, Akana's new personality makes her the star of the show, and she even ends up dating Aqua, which must be the most Stockholm Syndrome relationship ever. But luckily, there weren't many episodes of the show left, so I'm sure things will be fine. Oh wait, in the final episode, the two of them have to kiss! But they do win the show, so... But now they have to pretend to date outside of the show! Oh, and do you remember the girl Ruby and Red thought was basic earlier? Well, Aqua convinced her to join their idol group. With their new member, the girls managed to book a slot at a concert, which is a good thing, but now they have to pick a lead member. Ruby and Kat really want it, and Red wants nothing to do with it, so naturally they pick her to be the lead. Then the fitness guy's back. Ruby is happy to see him, Kat is a fan of him, and Red is horrified that he's back. He makes them work out and then has a conversation with Red on the balcony, and it turns out he knows a lot about her and really seems to care about her. And of course, it's just Aqua pretending to be him. But Red don't know this. She's too busy falling in love with the bare minimum to notice. And now all she's thinking about is ditching her crush on Aqua to focus all her energies on having a crush on this guy. Then to her horror, she finds out there's actually just Aqua in a mask. Then they go to the show and they're performing on a little stage, but they still get a decent turnout. Or at least Kat and Ruby do. Because no one in the crowd has a glow stick for Red. And she's the white glow stick, which I thought was weird. I figured she should have been the red one because of her hair. Red isn't actually her name. I'm just calling her that because of her hair, because I forgot her actual name. But anyway, she's going through it. She's not having a good time on the stage. And then Aqua arrives and somehow manages to perform like this with a straight face. Then on the ride home, he tells them all that his relationship with Akana is fake. Red, hearing this news, decides to play it cool and aloof by non-stop insulting the poor man, telling him that a girl like Akana would never fall for a man like him, and that it's his own fault for getting heartbroken over her, even though this guy showed no signs of heartbreak or negative emotions at all. Then to end the season, Red e-stalks Aqua and Akana on their fake date and tells them that she's been cast in a show, that the two of them have also been cast in, and her character just so happens to form a love triangle in the show. Kind of like what's going on in real life. I wonder what they're setting up for season 2. Also, Red and Akana met before when they were younger, and just like every person who met Red when she was younger, they don't like each other. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Comment down below anything you want. Tell me how I can improve. Like the video, subscribe. Bye.